Dear Tia, this is Flirty Friends After Losing 100 Pounds. Thank you so much for answering my call with Ray. I actually ended up cutting him off, I think like a week after I sent that call in. So before I even listened to you guys' thing, I was like, I'm not having it. Not what I need in my life at all. So thank you guys so much. But I have kind of two things that I wanted your opinion on, your perspective. So I've been getting back into the dating field. So I've been using Hinge and Facebook dating, and I've noticed this thing where I'm having great conversations. I've been very selective on the kind of men I even entertain. And I've been on several amazing dates, but there are some men who where I'm having great conversations with them, and I have this rule where I want to have a date planned within a week because I'm not gonna be texting you forever. But I feel like it just never happens, and I don't feel right as a woman asking the man to plan a date. Like I just feel like that's not something that I'm comfortable with. I don't know, it just gives very much begging for me, so I never do it. I don't know if that's wrong. It doesn't feel right. Like I don't know, that's not for me. So I honestly just let the conversation die out. So I want to know, I guess, why do men do that? I feel like I have my own theory, but I guess I want to hear your perspective on that. And then I heard in a past episode that you were abstinent for a certain amount of time. Were you dating during that time? And do you have any advice for women who want to stay abstinent while dating?
Oh, she got a whole bunch of questions in here, number one, and I have a whole bunch of comments. The ADHD in me, I'm glad I got this cue card, okay, girl, because I'll lose my lose my train of thought quick. Okay, so first of all, we thanks for calling back. We're glad that you got off that, baby. We glad that you stopped talking to him. Thank you. Um, a few things here. Yes, I was abstinent for five going on 6 years. I did date in between there. The first thing I want to address is like, why don't men actually plan dates?
Hmm.
And I think there's a few things that I want to add to this. First of all, I hate that women want to find the why to everything that men do. It's honestly, it's exhausting. Like, why do you think this man? What I'm telling you, like, it is gonna exhaust you. I try to pour my energy into people that actually want to be there. Once I stopped figuring out why this man didn't want to be with me, why this man um ghosted me, why this man wasn't around. Like, it just really just lightened my load. And us as women, we don't have the same emotional vows that men have. So I think it's going to be great that if you just like don't care about the why, you care about what's present, who's present or not. Also, y'all, I'm having an allergy issue, so you may see my nose running. Okay. Um, so yeah, don't focus on the why. Focus on all the present men that are planning those dates, because that's what you said. You said that you've been on some amazing dates. Full stop. Let's keep it there. Let's keep it there. You've done some great dates. We don't care about people that are invisible and non-compliant and are not showing interest. We don't care about those people. So we don't need to know the why. But what I will say is that a lot of times while dating, women will give so much of a preview that they don't want to see the rest of the movie.
Hmm.
Like, girl, you didn't let this man run down your phone. Okay, you didn't told him all your business. You didn't told him where you're from, what you like, what your mama did to you when you was younger. You didn't share so much up front that it really, you're not interesting enough for them to want to see you or hang out with you. And I hope that that lands well. But a lot of times we hang out and do too much with men that they don't actually want to plan the date. They don't actually want to get to know you more, because you just kind of overdumped, overshared. I also think that dating is exploratory,
Hmm.
and men get to know you. And I think I just talked about this. He got to know you, and he wasn't curious enough to hang out with you. Like, it could be nothing really against you. If people have their own preferences and people have their own likes and dislikes, I think some women think that they're like, when you start dating somebody, that you're automatically a contender for them. And you have to recognize that men are going to get to know you and be like, it could be subliminal things that you don't even know that
Yep.
you're doing. And he can be like, I don't even like that. Like, I don't like that road rage you got. I don't like the way you talk to that waitress. I don't
Hmm.
like the way you interacted with them kids. Like, you don't feel motherly, like whatever it could be. And so we have to accept that men are also like, this is exploratory phase, and they're just really trying to get to know you. So those are my 2 cents. Sometimes they just literally don't want to get to know you. Sometimes you've given way too much of a preview up front, and they're not interested in seeing the movie, when it's time to roll. And I also want to say again, like, don't focus on people that are underperforming and that are not around and not there. Like, that is just like a mind fuck that you just don't want to participate in. You got thoughts on that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, one, I'm the right person to be in the peanut gallery for this waiting
Yes,
abstinence
yes,
situation.
yes, yes.
For those of you who
Thank you,
don't
girl.
know, my husband and I waited 3 years, turned into 4 thanks to COVID. And I was abstinent a year, almost a year before that. So 5 years, similar to Tasia, with no sex, no nothing of any kind other than masturbation. I definitely masturbated because who the hell can make it through 5 years? But when I was dating, what I found to be helpful to like not really feel boggled down by the whole weight situation was I just focused on fun. Like when you focus on having fun and just enjoying somebody's time, sex is an addition to, but it's not the thing. And like I said, masturbation, right? Like you know how to take care of you. So if you just focus on that, a few tips though, I did at the beginning made sure that I wore either ugly underwear that I didn't want a man to see, or I just didn't shave down there because I knew
No, it
I'm like, I'm
helps.
not gonna be getting all hot and heavy and then like exposing that, right? Nobody wants to see that. That was a way to kind of hold me accountable until I was consistent with the weight, and then eventually found my husband, and that was a whole other journey. But you have to find like what things make you not be abstinent. So if someone's, kissing you and you're in a comfort of a home where you can have sex, then you need to not be in no man's crib, right? And you need to not be letting no man kiss up on you and rub on you and touch on you. So it's almost like, don't take me to the pregame if we're not going to the party, right? Like I'm not
Yeah.
trying to get drunk or take shots if I'm not going out and enjoying my whole night. Like it just doesn't make sense. So kind of figure out like what your things are. I think that's number one. And then I have a question, and this is for both of y'all, but mainly you because you're here right now.
Mhm.
Is it wrong to communicate the week thing? Because my thought was like, well, maybe if he just doesn't know that you wanted a date in a week, he could just be oblivious, and maybe there wasn't enough conversation for him to even throw out the date card, or like, is that a problem to ask or
Think a week
tell?
is a week can be tricky, and I know
Mm-hmm.
that there's like a lot of coaches online. It's like if he not doing this in a certain amount of time, I do have like just number markers that I have in my head about like, if you haven't even asked for my phone number in this amount of time or things
Yeah.
like that. I think a week can fly by if
Right.
like, I mean, even we were just talking about our week. It's like, wait a minute, how does Sunday have all these things like things? And so
Yeah.
like if you have two working people with an averagely social life, like a week can go by fast. But I think that there are always innuendos that this person is gonna try to see you, or they're
Yeah.
interested in seeing you. So I think it's like listening to those type of things as well.
Yeah.
I do think that a man trying to spend time with you is a one of the biggest green flags of
Mm-hmm.
just something materializing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that is like the biggest green flag. If he's not trying to see you, he is not trying to do anything else. Like there's no way. Men are one, they're visual,
Mm-hmm.
and they also just like they want a preview to what they're gonna get, and
Yep.
they're only gonna know that if they're spending time with you. And so if he's not trying to date you, like actually go out and spend time with you, then he probably isn't, he's just not that interested.
Yeah.
A lot of men will hold space on your phone. That is my biggest thing. Get these men off your phone. I do not allow men in my life that don't make daily deposits. And that is just that. You
Yeah.
don't get to come and drain me and dump your problems and tell me about your baby mama and what your mama did and how you hate your job and your car broke down, and then you're not putting any deposits into my life. And that is not just monetarily like, oh, it's going out on a date, but like you need to be dependable,
Mm-hmm.
reliable. I need to be able to call on you. It needs to be mutual. And I think a lot of women find it to be like adoration and like this man is like choosing them and they're important and that they're like that man's person because they're calling, and that is cheap communication currency, CCC. These men liking your stories, calling your phone all the time, and it's so tricky because the women are like, we fall asleep on the phone together. What tangible did he do? Like what are things that are tangible that this person has done? And I think that communication is great because it
Yeah.
allows for intimacy and getting to know somebody, but it can be really tricky when all he's doing is trying to call you and he's not planning a date. And that goes for you long distance people too. Like he
For
needs to be like,
sure.
hey, am I coming down there or are you coming down here? So
I also
that's
think it
that.
depends if you met someone in person or if you exchange information virtually, because a man doesn't know what he's missing until he's actually met you and experienced your aura, your energy, your vibe. So I feel like if you went and you met them out, like for me, men have always been like, so when can I see you next? Like they're like, I need more of this. But if it's a connection over line, it's a little more tricky because then they don't even know what they're missing yet. They don't know you enough to know if they even want to spend time with you. So it may take more than a week for them to weed out if you're someone that they do want to spend that physical time with, which is
Yeah, yeah.
difficult.
And just the last thing is like really a gut check on that, because you're having amazing
Mhm.
dates, but you're asking about why the other man did not plan a date. And
Yeah.
you have to get out of that mentality. I'm telling you, it will wear you out. And we all have had that guy where
Yep.
it's just like, wow, he's so consistent. He's so sweet. He does everything right. And you're not quite that attracted to him, or something off about him. And you end up being overthinking about the one that's not calling you, the one that got the swag, and he's the one that you like really are attracted to, and you're more focused on why he's not planning the dates, and you got a good man right in front of you
Yep.
that is, you just said you had amazing dates, so why we worried about
That one.
that one that's not planning it, right? Like we
Yeah.
do that all the time. And I always release that man to the general public, okay? If you got a good man that's planning all these dates and give you amazing dates, but you worried about Ray, release him to the public so that it's girls waiting. We already know that the ratio is quite off, okay? It's 11 women and one man. Release him, okay? And go on, dilly dally with the one that you talking about some why he ain't planning the day, girl. We ain't got time for that. So there's that. Anywho, thanks for calling back. I'm glad you got off of him. Don't worry about Mr. Why not? Okay. Worry about
Hmm.
the ones that are in front of you. I gotta say one last thing though, is that to your point, do not for men, I know it's a big thing about when you should tell the guy that you are abstinent or that you're not
Mm.
interested in sex. That's a huge thing. I know that
Hmm.
that's a big thing. But what I will say is that how he responds to that will tell you all you need to know. Don't
Yep.
skip over it. Don't flinch. Don't How he responds to the fact that he cannot access you in the way that he wants to will tell you all you need to know. Please listen for, is he gentle? Is he kind? Is he understanding? Is he curious? Some guys just like, okay, is this until we're an item? Is this
Hmm.
until marriage? Is this until but watch his body language. If you ever get to a point where you share, like that'll tell you all that you need to know. And it's not to shame anybody that
Yeah.
it's like, I have an active sex life and I can't wait until, this long. It's not to shame that guy for that. But if you're somebody that's gonna wait and he's into you, he gonna be on what you on.
Hmm.
And I ain't saying it's gonna be easy, but he'll be on what you on. So pay attention to how he responds to
That
you.
part.
Yeah, that part. Yeah, no, for sure. Anyways, okay, we're on to the next one.